What's up, guys? Wes back with Auto Mafia. Today we're working on Project Hurricane once again. And today, as you can see, we are under the car. We are getting started on all the mods that I was talking about doing the other day after FL2K. So to start, guys, we'll get under the car here. Check it out. We've already got the rear end pulled apart. So that we got the Panhard and the brace out of our way. We got the wheels off and we got the rotors off. So, and then we got the drive shaft removed. Well, removed at the front. So these are our 411 gears. They were way too much. And as you can see, there's no diff in there. That is what you call a spool or a full spool. Other things you can do are a mini spool, limited slip differential, torsion, all sorts of different stuff. But for now, we're gonna clean up these edges and then we're gonna start removing everything. Now to remove this, we have to remove the axles that slide into there. So on our strange setup here, we have to undo the 4 bolts. You see the top ones and the bottom ones. You got to undo those 4 on each side. Once we undo those, they will pull out. Now, because they'll just slide out, we don't have to pull them all the way out of the car. We can just slide them about 6 inches and let them kind of set. That will give us enough room that right here on the differential, we will be able to undo these 4 big ones and remove that piece. Now, the pinion will still be in the car, so we will have to pull this off. Once the gear set and the spool are out, we can unbolt the gear set from the spool itself via all these bolts. And then we'll have to undo the big pinion nut on the front end there. And then basically what you do after you do that is you take a chisel or a hammer and you beat this through, because it's that part right there. Once that is beaten through, it'll pop out, we catch it, and we go put it on the table over there. Now our 411s we're gonna give to Sarah Harrow because she needs that advantage, the mechanical advantage over her, the tires, to just rip them loose. We don't need that anymore now that we have boost, so we're gonna go with our 308 gears. Everything we got is from Strange, including our install kit. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here by continuing to pull this apart. So as you guys can see, we got the axles pulled out. Literally, those 4 bolts, just give it a yank, comes right out. Same thing over here. And you can see where we basically shaved it down to fit the new brake housings and everything on for these axles, for those Strange race brakes. But now, they've pulled out of here, so we can unbolt these 4 and remove the spool and diff. All right, so we got the gear set and the spool out. It's over here on the table. So there's a closer look at what that looks like, guys. Pretty nifty, right? So we got the bearings and the races. We dropped some of the shims, so Daytona's just cleaning them off out there. But otherwise, basically what happens is you stick these on. Okay, that's your bearing. Your bearing goes on. Or excuse me, that's your race and your bearing. Those are on. And then to center it and basically get your offset side to side for the gearing, you stack shims in. That's how you make it so you get the correct pattern. That combined with pinion depth. So after a couple of well-placed hammer strikes, this is what we're looking at. You see, it is empty. It's all out over here. So we got the flange off and then we got the pinion off. So it doesn't look too bad looking at them. So these are gonna go in Sarah Harrow's car. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find our Strange boxes around here somewhere. Not really sure where it is, around here somewhere. We're gonna find that box, pull out our gear sets, compare, get everything ready to install the new setup. All right, guys. See if you can see this. But in there, you see that number? Okay, that number is on the pinion. That number is supposed to be the pinion depth. So basically, you take that number and you try and make it with a little itty bitty shims to put on the pinion. Then, you stick it in there, you put the nut on, and you're gonna go back and forth tightening this to crush the washer. Now the key is, it should still spin freely, guys, okay? Now I don't mean like it should stop. Because it needs, basically, they call for used bearings 15 inch-pounds of rotational torque, basically, to turn it. Now what that equates to is between 1 and 2 foot-pounds. I've never found an inch-pound actual meter, but I do have one that is in foot-pounds. So basically, as soon as it registers, that's enough. And what that really is, you just have to be able to push it and it stops. But if you have this on so tight that you can't move this, that's not correct. That's not how it should be. And it's not gonna work right, all right? So that's just the facts of it. I don't like doing gears. In fact, I hate doing gears, but this is how it should be done correctly. It should be able to spin easily. So we got the shims put in and we ran a test and it looks pretty good. We're gonna do it again just to make sure we have it correct, but there you go. Doesn't look too bad on either side there. So we're gonna run it again and then we'll just start putting the axles and everything back together. I'm excited to try out some 308 gears. So there we go. I'm satisfied with our gear pattern. It might make a little noise, it might not. I don't know, you know, it just happens. But we got just a little bit of backlash in there, that's good. So now we're gonna stick the axles back in and put her back together. And I guess then we'll start doing suspension, put the drive shaft back in, and we'll see if it makes any noise and we'll get to try out 308s. So now that we got our gears in, all we have left to do is put on our back cover here, guys. We're going ahead and we're installing our UPR adjustable lower control arm mounts on both sides here. So we're just disassembling right now and we just put this one on. We're just trying to put it together basically and figure out what bolt goes where, and then we'll go ahead and tighten everything up. And then after it's all tight, then we can begin adjustment once we put it on the other rack, because that on the other rack, it'll be on its wheels. And once it's on its wheels, that way you can actually adjust for how the car is actually sitting at ride height and everything like that. So we're gonna get it all adjusted, make sure she is good to go and she can shoot straight. There we go. We have the lowers assembled. We have it in the lower bolt hole for right now because we're gonna lower everything down. We can always adjust that up if need be. Both of them are set up. All the bolts are in. Now if you are installing these guys, put that one in first, then that one, and then that one, but leave these two loose so you can get this one on. And on the other side of it, there is a nut in there. You guys see that? There is a nut in there too. So it's a little bit of work getting those on, but it's not bad. And I mean, it looks kind of funky, but it'll help us a lot. Should really help with that wheel hop and let us actually dial in a lot better instant center and everything for the rear end, and just give us better geometry. So a little update, we have the anti-roll bar going in. Daytona here is tightening up one of the mounts on the far side up in there. We have it obviously welded on, so this is what moves. Kind of interesting, huh? So it'll get greased up and everything like that, but yeah, that twists and spins, which allows the axle to be locked in place because these are welded on. I'm ready to be done with this. We obviously got the back cover on, so the gears are in, so I'm just ready to be done with it, put it on the dyno and see what it does. We are gonna up the boost a little bit, and then we gotta go back to the track, so I'm excited for that. So here we go, guys. Installed. The only thing we have left to do is to weld these tabs on. Okay, so what we're gonna do is these tabs are gonna get welded on straight up and down. They're not gonna get welded on until we have the car up on the 4-post so that it's at full extension. That way we know where it's gonna be and we know it has room. But I think it looks pretty good. So we're gonna stick the Panhard bar and brace back on, wheels and tires back on, pull it onto the 4-post, get that all done, weld it up, paint it, then we're going back on the dyno. So here we go, it's all on. Now this is a piece we hadn't ran before. This is the Panhard brace. We, for whatever reason, had not been running it. I think that might have contributed to our side-to-side swaying motion once we left. Now, we do still have our Panhard loose because we have to adjust it, and we still have to hook those up. But this gives you a good view from the back of what everything is and where and how it sits. Now, we did run into an issue And you see right there, there's that other hole. Well, you see the Panhard brace was hitting where our return line was in, so we had to tap a new hole for the return line and raise it up there. Now I'm happy with where it's at. It looks good. We're just gonna adjust everything over there on the 4 posts. So we gotta fire it up for the first time on 308s. Now like it makes a difference. Oh, we also have to go change the battery. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That weird battery issue. So we'll yank the battery off. We'll see what it's doing. We'll put it on the charger, see if it works. Take it to AutoZone, replace it. Watch My Eco, aka Zach, should be over here sometime this week, hopefully. He hasn't come yet. We might have to go get the battery we want from him. But otherwise, we'll just use that weight on the rear end and we'll use another big heavy battery. So let's drop her down. That suspension looks good. I like it. Look at those adjustable lower control arm relocation brackets. We got them in the bottom hole, so it should hit the hardest. Looks good though, looks like a drag car. All right guys, so this is the new camera setup for in-car. I'll pull you off here in a second and show you, but I just got the new gauge plate basically put in that holds the gauge, my boost gauge, and all my switch panels. Because what happened when I launched with the stock setup that I had, the gauge like tried to hit me in the face, and the bottom piece that holds the radio, that like flew off, hit me in the hand and everything. It wasn't any fun. And it scared the crap out of me trying to race, so I'm not about that life. Now it's all secured. I'll show you what it looks like here. So here's a better shot. You can see exactly what I was talking about. So this whole faceplate fell off, and my hand was obviously on the shifter, and it hit me. So now that is our faceplate. No more gauge there, even though it was really good. I can still see it right there. So like, this is basically my view. You're right in front of my face. So that's basically what I see when I'm just looking. I'm looking straight, so I can still see the gauge. My switches are right there. Basically I just have, driving this car is easy though, because it's literally just like foot on the floor, let go, hang on, because the car goes blah, and shoots to the moon. So that's pretty much it. We're just letting the battery charge to try and charge it, see if it'll work, and then we're gonna put the car on the dyno. Tomorrow obviously we're going racing, so I'm getting pretty excited. I think I'll go ahead and swap out the spring right now, and then that way we're ready for the battery and ready to put it on the dyno, but it should be awesome. So I'm doing something kind of exciting. Not really, but it'll make excitement. So this is the blue and brown spring for my Turbo Smart Wastegate. That's a 10 PSI spring. Woo! About to be going fast, man. I tell you what. I'm excited because, oh yeah, it's a lot more pressure. I'm excited because it's gonna just go. You can tell we're tired from working on the car all day. Yeah. Alright guys, we don't have very much battery left, but here goes nothing. We just finished doing all the suspension. We're running a -2, so a 2 degrees down angle on the pinion. We got everything else dialed in and tight, so I'm excited. We're gonna go ahead and throw it on the rollers here and see what it makes on 10 PSI. Wish us luck. Alright guys, so I just uploaded the new tune for Project Hurricane for the 308 gears. Fingers crossed. We also obviously added the 10-pound spring, so we should be running 10 pounds of boost. Unfortunately, my boost gauge is now broken. For whatever reason, it decided it wanted to give up the ghost, and it's not turning on whatsoever. So, not sure what that's about. But yeah, so we're gonna send it anyways, because that's what we do, and we're going racing tomorrow. So I just want to at least get one log in to make sure everything looks good with the car. So we're ready. We're gonna go ahead and crank it up and let's do it. It might be loud. So we went to do a pull, and you guys saw the footage. Looked kind of weird, right? Well, the car wouldn't go anywhere because the dyno's basically commanding 100% load. So it was pulling back on it in like, I think by the end it was like 500, 600 pounds, like trying to stop it. So we're basically unplugging things now. Give me a thinner one, please. We're basically unplugging things, restarting them, following a couple directions that we have from a rep. I need a shorter one too, Daytona, that's way too tall. We're just unplugging things and trying to get it to reset so that it's not at 100%. Because look on the screen, it shows at 100%. We're not even moving, it's commanding 100% brake. So we got it powered down right now, and we're just trying to unplug a couple things. But they're the big computer cables, so they're kind of hard to get to. Kind of weird. The dyno wasn't really working very well. We swapped the DC box out on it, and it basically turned back on and let us run the car. So we'd made one pass. The boost controller, excuse me, the boost gauge, not the boost controller, the boost gauge decided it wanted to quit working, our AEM gauge, so that didn't work. So I have a 10-pound spring in it. I'm guessing it made 10 pounds. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing it made 10 pounds, all right? So here you can see the difference between our 7 PSI run, or with our 7 PSI spring on wastegate, and our 10 PSI spring on wastegate. Okay, so there you go. That is our 7 PSI, right, out of the 7,500, 515, and 468. And here we are on 10 pounds of boost, or the 10-pound spring. So made 579.3 horsepower and 523 pounds of torque. Again, it's showing up weird. It didn't come in all that great, so I'm not really sure what's going on with the dyno. Either way, the car is running. It ran on 10 PSI. It shifted when I did another pull, so we're gonna take it to the track tomorrow. We got all the suspension set up, so we're gonna give it our best shot. We're gonna see what it does. Hopefully it does well. Hopefully we can run a low 10-second pass. That's obviously the goal always. Low 10-second pass on 10 PSI, then maybe we'll either add the nitrous or we'll up the boost and we'll send it and see if we can run that 9.
Just send it.
Just send it. But that's it for tonight, guys. So thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. As always, we'll keep making more hurricane stuff, more cyclone stuff, more everything. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow at the drag strip.